Hey YouTube family, how are you guys doing? It's a Sunday afternoon. I'm just kind of vegging and relaxing. And yesterday, my buddy Barry came over. He had a Larry Carlton Sire Telecaster. It's got the big baseball bat neck on it. Pretty cool. He had a Fender Deluxe Reverb amp. And then he brought over this cab. It's a crate cab. Like it says crate right on the handle, but it says Meza Engineering in the front of it. So I'm not really sure. I think he bought the cab unloaded, and then recently he just bought a Celestion speaker to put in it. And it's an older version of a 7080 speaker. And it's got a red label on it. So he was saying that online, a lot of people are saying that the 7080 speakers are, they're just crap and they're cheap speakers and just stay away from them and don't waste your time. But he found that it sounded pretty good. So he just asked if I would maybe do a little experiment, try some different stuff. So we used his Deluxe Reverb, which comes stock with a Jensen P12R Alnico speaker. That thing sounds really good. And I played a few chords with that. And then you can just unplug the speakers in the back of those Deluxe Reverbs. So I just unplugged the speaker and I ran a speaker cable from the amp to Barry's cab. And then while we were at it, Barry suggested, why don't you try your cabs? Like your Hughes and Kettner cab with the Guitar Warehouse Black Hawk speaker in it, which is a 30-watt Alnico, and your little implicit audio 10-inch cab with a Jensen P10R speaker in it. So we did. So it was interesting because a lot of times we wonder, is it the amp that sounds good or the speaker, or is it a combination of both? And then some people say, well, it's the speaker cab, and it's if the speaker is front mounted or rear mounted, and it's whether it's ceramic or Alnico, and it depends on the pickups you're using. And you know what? I think maybe all of that plays a role. If you have a good set of speakers, you can notice the difference. And you know what? That 7080 speaker is by far the cheapest of them all. And my Black Hawk WGS speaker is probably the most expensive of them all. And I wouldn't say that the most expensive speaker sounded better. And we know it's not the amp because it's a Fender Deluxe Reverb. Like it's a good amp. So you can take the amp out of the equation because we always use the same one and we didn't touch the EQ setting. And I always use the bridge pickup and just on clean tone. Or the people that believe, oh, I got to pay a lot of money for a speaker for my rig to sound good. I don't think so. I think it's just a matter of finding the right speaker for the amp and guitar that you're using and that pleases your ear. But there lies the problem. Trial and error when you're talking speakers cost money. So anyway, it was a cool little experiment. See what you think, and I'll come back and give you my final thoughts. All right, so welcome to the Barry Show. Barry's here, actually. We have a Larry Carlton Sire Telly. Get that in the shot here. We want to test what creates your sound when you're talking amps and speakers. So is it mostly the amp, or is it really the speaker? In the Fender Deluxe Reverb, we have a Jensen P12R. It's an Alnico, and it sounds like this on the bridge pickup. But now we're going through the bottom cab on the left of the amp, right there. It says Meza Engineering in the front. It's a 12-inch cab. It has a Celestion ceramic speaker in it, and it's the 7080, and it sounds like this. Now we're in the middle cab, so right there, and that is a Hughes and Kettner 12-inch cab. It's modded in the sense that it's open back, because these cabs come with a closed back, and it has a WGS, so warehouse guitar speaker, Black Hawk 30-watt 12-inch speaker in it. And clean sounds like this. Now we're on the cab at the top. So that one, which is an implicit audio cab that I assembled myself. It's a 10-inch cab, and it has a Jensen as well, similar to the one in the Deluxe Reverb, but this one's a 10-inch, and it's the P10R, and it sounds like this. So a good thing to note is that all these three cabs, the speakers are rear mounted on the baffle board. So if you guys were thinking that maybe that would make a difference, it doesn't. They're all mounted the same way. All right, so there you go. That was the little speaker experiment. So obviously there was some variables that were controlled, like the cabs were all different, the speakers were all different, but the amp and the guitar were the same. To me in the room, you know, one of the speakers that I really like is that Jensen P10R. And to be totally honest with you, out of all of them, it's the one that sounded the thinnest. Now, if I was using that speaker in a particular environment, I would set the amp or set the EQ for that speaker to sound good as far as my ears are concerned. And I would do that with all the other ones too. But just keeping the amp set pretty much straight up and down at 12 o'clock. And those amps only have bass and treble. It was surprising to see how those speakers performed, because the stock speaker sounds good. You know, that's probably why they put it in that amp. My WGS speaker is very mid dominant. It really cuts through. The Jensen 10-inch version was a little thin, you know, with the amp settings the way they were. But I'll tell you what, that 7080, which is supposed to be a cheap speaker, it's no good, don't waste your time on it. That thing was very impressive. It was by far, in the room here, and both Barry and I agreed, it was by far the warmest speaker of the four, I guess. Definitely the warmest. It had smooth low end. It really didn't have harsh mids, and the highs were pleasant to the ear. I don't know if that's going to come through for you on this video, but let me know what you think, and let me know what speakers you guys use in your cabs and in your amps. And if you have a Deluxe Reverb, like, are you guys running the Jensen P12R Alnico as well, or is there a different speaker in yours? Guys, let me know what you think, and comment down below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. So thanks for watching, guys. You guys take care. God bless, and have a good one.